Views and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen. Freedom!
Broadcasting live from ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, I'm a member of the local Catholic Christian community. Well, this is Holy Week. And on Wednesday, I shall, on Freedom March, remember Jesus by holding a Last Supper in memory. So that's Wednesday. But today, among the top news here among my Negro people is a notice in the Nassau Guardian from the Negro minister responsible for Crown Land. This notice comes from the office of the Prime Minister and to the poor Negroes who are squatting on Arawak Key with your little boat, with your little sport fishing vessels. Be warned, the minister responsible for Crown Land wants y'all off. So what time is that? It's the people's time. So we look at the notice, and you better get yourself off the Crown Land. No Crown Land for the Negro poor. 690 acres in Grand Bahama for crooks and gangsters and shysters. But my God, those poor Negroes who have been occupying Crown Land, doing their little business, the government say to get off. I have it here, you know. And in case you are not sure, well, the government has an aerial photograph. But I'll have minister know that Freedom March, we also have a thingam that can fly up over Arawak Key. We got drone. We have drone. Mr. Producer, where is our pilot? Because I may need to visit Arawak Key so that my people can see what the F&M strategy is. No Crown Land for the Negro poor, but gangsters and crooks, they will get the land. We look at all of these issues because this weekend was horrible. Traffic accidents leading into perhaps 2 or possibly 3 deaths. And about half an hour ago, a vehicle overturned on the Eastern Road, according to Bahama Press. And then we are aware of what authorities describe as murder-suicide in, guess what? Stapleton Garden, Yellow Elder. And then about 2:30 this morning, a Negro man had arrived at his home in Dignity Garden, where his killer or killers awaited him. And by the time the authorities examined his body, I have been informed by a Negro police source that they found at least 12 bullets, a dozen bullets. Our boy be in trouble, but I have to look at what is taking place. This is Freedom March. my spiritual advisor. I've not heard from him since the weekend. Lord, bring him safely to the studio. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live from ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. We are also on 105.3 FM, The Beat. My name is Rodney Monker. Praise the Lord. Despite domestic violence and all kinds of violence, praise the Lord, my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is in the house. Bradley, how are you?
I'm doing great, Mr. Monker. What a weekend,
Yeah,
Mr. Monker.
it's been bloody.
It's been a very sad, disappointing, and very painful weekend, to say the least.
Yeah.
Both you and myself, who, of course, have experienced, the family life, can, of course, grieve along with those who are grieving over the loss of loved ones in such a tragic way. It brings a lot of burden and sadness to my heart to see how people ending their lives in such fashion. We are finding permanent solutions for temporary problems.
Yeah.
And it's extremely sad.
Well,
It's
last
extremely
week, a Negro male was murdered by his common law wife. And then this week, we started the week out where what authorities describe as a murder-suicide took place in Yellow Elder Gardens. I think some Negroes refer to the street as West Dennis Court. Others call it Majors Road, but it's in the Yellow Elder constituency, well, should I say the Yellow Elder community, and I'm advised that National Security Minister Marvin Dames is the minister. It's his constituency, Stapleton Gardens. But it's a sad thing when it reaches a stage that we are either destroying our spouse and or our common law wife or husband. So that is a very sad situation where a man who has been described as Sean Bethel, he is believed to have murdered his wife and then turned the weapon on himself. And I'm advised that they have 3 little children. So it's a very tragic situation. And I wonder, where is the Christian Council in all of this? Where it is? Because there are people who have emotional and psychological problems. And they do need people that they can go to and talk to. Take, for instance, me. Whenever I have emotional and psychological problems, I call my good friend, Brother Jack. I say, Jax, I have problems. What are you doing? And he will either come to where I am or tell me where to meet him. And he just sit down and allow me to just express myself, to curse and carry on and rave and rant. And then when it's over, he tell me that this too will pass away. And I said, Jax, you really think so? He said, yes. I said, well, okay, I feel fine until tomorrow when I'm ready to go through the same ritual. But it's a sad situation. Sad situation when we come to a situation where there's murder and suicide. And then, of course, about 2:30 something this morning, a young man arrived at his residence where his executioner or executioners were awaiting him. And according to a Negro police source, they found at least 12 bullets. So it gives you an idea of what kind of shooting took place. 12 shots in one man. So clearly, the intention is to make sure that he is dead. It's sad Sad, sad, sad. And what is lacking is the nation has no moral authority. You can't go to the politician and say to the politician, you become not only the political advice, become the moral authority. Or you cannot turn to the church, because many church pastors have compromised. They seek not the kingdom in the afterlife. They want the kingdom today. And perhaps you can't blame them, because it is only fate that there is a kingdom after death. But we are sure that there is one here today. So it's a horrible, horrible thing. And then we saw on the island of Abaco 2 Negro females, apparently both sharing the same birth date. They perished in a tragic accident. And then I'm advised that perhaps a Negro female may have also perished in an accident in the Fox Hill community, according to Bahama Press. And up to about 3:18 this afternoon, Bahama Press reported that a vehicle overturned on the Eastern Road. Listen, man, Nassau is only 21/7, 20 miles long, 7 miles wide. Take your time. When I'm driving taxi, I take my time. Whenever I'm driving any vehicle, I would say to the tourist them, listen, you're in no rush, right? They said, no. I said, this is good because we're going to take our time so that I will get to the airport alive. And once I get there alive, I guarantee you, you will arrive alive. So it's tragic, tragic. For heaven's sake, drive slowly and relax. Just look at the scenery, but keep your eyes straight, and take your time. It's very tragic, my spiritual advisor.
Yeah, absolutely, Mr.
So
Michael.
I won't go into all the gruesomeness of the crime, other than to say that these crimes, we got to find a way to stop it. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting, Mr. Manka, to see how the devil is striking at the core of society, which is the family.
The family.
I can tell you, I can imagine how challenging marriage relationships can get. But my advice to all those who are married who may be experiencing some marital issue or another is to try to seek some sort of a counseling or get advice from somebody who would share or send you in the right direction. Listen, Mr. Monday, I can tell you, if it was someone who can speak about challenges in marriage and being pushed to the pinnacle of whatever you want to call it, is me. But I have survived that blow that most men would not be able to deal with. The reality is that every marriage would have challenges. There is no marriage that is perfect.
Well, I want to come out of the spiritual realm for a second. Mm-hmm. Because when you talk about marriage, mm-hmm. I recognize that you're now introducing Christianity. Mm-hmm. But from a sociological perspective, mm-hmm. we have a number of family. You have the marriage which is consecrated. You also have a family where there is a married man, his wife and the children of the marriage, and his sweetheart and their children. We have to be honest, that is a relationship that exists. It's a second family. And then of course we have the common law relationship, where a man and a woman may not be married, but they do have family. So they need to also find a means by which they can go to get counseling. So I'm going to remove Christianity for a second. For the man who's keeping sweetheart, and if he has problems, goodness me, go and seek help. For the woman who's keeping sweetheart and there's problems, go and seek counseling.
Why don't you condemn it though?
I have
We're trying to build
my spiritual
a
advisor.
positive
Hold on a
society.
second.
You're
Hold on a
not
second.
condoning sweetheart now, you.
Hold on.
Don't do that, man.
My spiritual advisor.
I have honestly, as your spiritual advisor, I have to stop you there, man. Let me tell you why.
So are you suggesting
Let me
to
tell
me?
you
Hear
why.
me out for a second.
You know, in the first place,
If I'm-
we should not be condoning sweethearting. You always says that sweethearting is a sin, right?
Listen.
And you're right.
Yes, but you're
So
missing
now,
the point.
how do you bring in all of this and how the devil is striking at the very fiber?
My spiritual
of-
advisor listened to me.
Okay, let me try.
I know of a particular married man.
Lord, Father, forgive me. I don't mean to laugh on this show with Mr. Montgomery.
Who keeps sweetheart. But his relationship is perfect. There's no domestic violence there. Because he is able to manage his relationships.
What do you mean? The wife and the sweetheart are friends? Is that the only way the jealousy
No,
will
no,
end?
no, 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 no. The sweetheart respects the wife.
Oh, man.
The first rule of keeping sweetheart is she must respect
I can't engage
the
in
wife.
this conversation.
But the point I'm making is if there are disputes, it cannot be resolved at the end of a knife or at the barrel of a gun. So you have to go and seek help if it means to going to see the police. I send people all the time when they have problems, go see the police. All right? That's the point I'm making. Because it is clear that the family is under attack by the devil.
Of course.
Who has come in many disguises.
Of course, yeah.
First,
I would
he
agree with that.
came as a force struggling for gender equality. So that's the devil. And then we see a new manifestation, or an old manifestation of the devil, where he's able to infiltrate relationship, where people thinks that it is the end of a relationship where they have to kill the other person. The late Oscar Johnson, the former member of Parliament for Cat Island, told me many years ago how to deal with those kinds of relationship. So we have to learn to manage the relationship so that we can avoid the devastation, the social devastation that we are seeing. On the next hour, I'm going to have here with me on Freedom March officials from Alive. They're going to join me for the last hour so I can see what they're doing with the telephone and whether or not Alive is keeping things alive. So in the next hour, that's what we're going to have here, my spiritual
Sounds great.
advisor. How's
Sounds
your phone?
Phone is great, you know. I think Alive
Okay.
is doing a pretty good job with their product and customer service. I find Alive data on their internet services to be much quicker than BTC, unless something is wrong with my BTC instrument. But that's what I've encountered. I found Alive to be pretty efficient with their internet connections.
Okay. In the Nassau Guardian today, the Negro minister responsible for Crown Land did not sign his name to the notice, but it comes from the office of the Prime Minister. Dr. Minnis has moved now to evict poor, struggling Negroes. And so, I'm going to look at this ad because what they have done is they have taken an aerial photograph of our key in an attempt to identify where those poor Negroes who Hubert Ingram left on our key, who Perry Gladstone Christie left on our key with a view to giving them an opportunity to make a living. But Dr. Minnis, being the political coward that he is, he has not signed it. I find it interesting because usually the minister signs it. So we're going to look at this ad. Mr. Producer, how long would it take to fly our Tingham? What our Tingham name?
The drone.
Hey, Brian Smith, this is Rodney Monker from Freedom March. I hope you are tuning in because there is a government notice calling on all of y'all to get off our key. You hear me? There is a government notice in the Nassau Guardian. You need to listen to Freedom March because when I told you to stay far from the F for them, you didn't listen to me. I said to you, Brian, let's go on the beach. But you all play F&M, so you're live on radio.
No?
All right? This notice is on page, I have a Negro male by the name of Brian, who's at Arwaki. This is Monday, March 26, page 820. Government notices, Office of the Prime Minister, notice to vacate portions of Arwaki. So when I come back, I shall be reading it. And yes? Yes?
I don't think the area that I am located, that is what they're talking about. I think they're talking about on the western end.
Well, my brother, you listen to the notice, and all I say, when I read the notice, you will determine if you're on west, east, or on Arwaki.
I'm glad you called me because
Yes?
the Prime Minister just made proclamation that he's going to make Crown land available to all behemoths.
Well, my brother, you better call the show. Tell me what this number
The number is
again.
323-7775.
Yeah, listen to the number. My spiritual advisor will tell it to you. Yes, hold on. Tell him the number.
The number to call Freedom March, Brian, is 323-7775. I don't know why the Senate even took this call live. When
Because I called him.
you call them?
Yeah.
Well, you could have used the
Just tell the man
Brian.
the number.
Yeah, call 323-7775, Brian, okay?
Yes.
You
I know you're not an ordinary person, so
Yeah.
you call back. I'll be reading
But Brian,
the notice.
for the sake of professionalism, man, you're wasting our film. Call
You leave Brian
323-7775, okay, Brian?
Call us.
Yeah.
Well, folks, when I return, I shall look at the government notice to these Negroes. You thought it was your time, eh? No, my brother. It is not the people's time. You know what the F&M stand for, right? Foreign National Movement. They never put people first. Lord, I bring a corrupt government before you. They wouldn't pay the police, and they are mistreating these poor people at our key who's trying to make a living. This is Freedom March. When I come back, I'll look at it, and I'll look at what Nikki Kelly has accused Dr. Minister of. Listen, it's a gangster country.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. We are also on 105.3 FM, The Beat. Welcome once again to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor, and he is in house. Bradley, welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. Monker. Thank you.
When we took the adjournment, I was making reference to a government notice in one of the government's gazette. Each of these newspapers are a part of the government's gazette. So it's the Nassau Guardian. And in this government notice, it is dated Monday, March 26, 2018. Office of the Prime Minister, notice to vacate portions of Arawak Key. Whereas Arawak Key is Crown land, and whereas the minister responsible for Crown land, the minister, has granted leases and licenses to occupy portions of Arawak Key to certain persons, and whereas there are other persons in occupation of various portions of Arawak Key, and or have assets moored and or have vessels moored to bulkhead of Arawak Key without the approval of the minister. Now therefore, the public is hereby notified that any person that does not have a subsisting license or lease issued by the minister to occupy any part of the area and or to have vessel moored to the bulkhead of Arawak Key delineated on the plan or diagram of Arawak Key attached hereto in the schedule is required to vacate the land and leave the same in a clean and tidy state within 30 days of the publication of this notice. Further, that the failure to comply with the notice within 30 days from the date of publication thereof will result in the government removing any equipment or other property found thereon and taking the necessary steps to recover from the owner of such property in full the costs associated with removing and or storing the same, and legal action for trespass may also be pursued against such persons. Also, any person having any questions or queries may direct their inquiries to the director at the Department of Lands and Surveys at 502-1200 or attend the Department of Lands and Surveys at Bay and Armstrong Street, Nassau, the Bahamas. Dated this 26th day of March 2018, Minister responsible for Crown land, the plan of the affected area. So this is it. Get your Negro self off the Crown land. Y'all made a mistake. Watch what Minister did. Within days of coming to power, he gave the Arawak Port Authority 14 acres of land. You think that's putting people's face? No. Ministers understand who the Pied Pipers are. The Pied Piper. Fellow who pays the Pied Piper, he calls the tune. Minister is the Pied Piper. And them fellas, they call the tune. I told y'all from day one that Dr. Hubert Minnis, the incoming Prime Minister, was not a man that you could trust. Y'all say I was mad because he didn't give me the nomination, which was a part of the reason why I was cursing him out. But greater than that is I knew that Minnis could not be trusted. Now, let's show me what y'all got with Arawak Key. I'm so suspicious of these F&Ms working for Sabbath. Goodness of mercy. That is Arawak Key. All right? He said he's not an F&M, he's a DNA. Well, I'm even more suspicious of you. So that is Arawak Key at night. Now, don't be confused by those lights, because this picture here was taken perhaps last year or year before last.
But there are lights on Arawak Key though.
I want you to stop it.
There are lights.
How many lights on Arawak Key? Don't distract yet. Don't distract.
Okay, go ahead.
All right? So this is Arawak Key. And those of you who have no license or lease, who only took Hubert Ingram word that y'all are the people. Now, if Papa was in charge, Papa would not have done this to y'all. All right? But you know, ministers have hog heart unless it's open. Now, if it's all bad, skullduggery is.
Yeah, which portion of Iraqi has been proposed
It's
here
the
now?
whole of the key, my spiritual
know. I
advisor,
don't know.
where they are there without a license and or
This is that back portion, right?
my spiritual advisor, wherever you are without a license, whether it's on the back or the front. I'm not ignoring, however.
Vacate portions of Iraqi. Which portion is it?
Anyway, since you are refusing to understand the English language, my spiritual advisor, I'm not going to answer you. Okay?
It has to be that
It
section.
says wherever you have, if you are on the front part and you have no permission from the minister responsible for Crown Land, get lost. All right? That's all it's saying. If you have permission, it isn't applicable to you. All right? But I know there are quite a number of struggling Negro men who have set up shop there. And Hubert Ingram tolerated them. Papa never run them, never put police on them, and so forth. Well, they're going to recognize that Menace has a hog heart. His heart is only soft if it's Oban. All right? So Nikki Kelly, in today's Punch, has a wonderful article. And she says, Oban tabled in the parliament invalidated by the prime minister. I'm reading it from my iPad because, you know, I had to take a photograph of it so I can read it. And I appeal publicly to Mrs. Nikki Kelly, would you kindly email me these wonderful articles, because I'm building a case of corruption against the F&M. When this is all over, take it from me, you will find that the Bahamas under Dr. Menace and the F&M has become a nation for sale. Let me repeat it one more time. Take it from me. When it's all over, and a forensic auditing, an investigation of the Menace administration, you will find that the Commonwealth of the Bahamas under the Menace administration is a nation for sale. They think because I black, I stupid. They think I can't understand this, what they're doing. But this is corruption, corruption, corruption. You hear me? Menace come to power talking, but he was committed to cleaning up corruption. And the next thing we know, Menace lied and deceived us. And had it not been for Donna, we would not have known that Menace is about to give away either 590 acres or 600 and something acres. We would not have known. It tells you his contempt for his people, the Negro people. So let's look at Nikki Kelly. Remember, I always told you all that I was suspicious that Nikki Kelly is a saved woman. So this is what she says in the Punch. And she says, is there a conspiracy at the highest level of the Menace administration to sell out the Bahamas? The persons unknown. Lord have mercy. Let me read that to you again. And I want this to sink into your Negro soul so that you could see that notwithstanding the fact that Menace is a black man, he does not love us, the Negro people. And I need someone to love my people. So let me see what Nikki say. Okay? Is there a conspiracy at the highest level of the Menace administration to sell out the Bahamas to persons unknown? Look how Nikki is seeing it. And I'll tell this to you. Flesh and blood did not reveal this to Nikki Kelly. It was not flesh nor blood. So I have to ask the question again. This is so fundamental, what she has said. Let me read it one more time. Is there a conspiracy at the highest level of the Menace administration to sell out the Bahamas? The persons unknown. Looking at the Oban, Energy's heads of agreement in isolation and without reference to any of the bad actors involved or any of the cloak and dagger shenanigans associated with its signing. That is the only logical conclusions to be drawn. You heard what Nikki say? She said, now, we ain't gonna look at the bad actors. We ain't gonna look at the games that they are playing. When you look at what they have signed, it is clear that Minister and them are selling out this country. We are in trouble. This has never happened. Never before in the history of this country have we seen this nonsense. This is what Minister is doing. And how long have they been in power? Huh? My spiritual advisor, help me out.
From May of 2017.
How much months is that? Help me out.
We're going on about 10 months.
You think about 10 months?
April, yeah, man.
Count it.
This is almost March. The end of the month is...
April.
The end of this month is Saturday, I think, which is the 31st.
Right?
Right.
And after the 31st comes...
April and then
April.
May. So we're looking at about 10 months.
That's about 10 months. A whole baby would have been under construction and born. And in less than 10 months, Minister and those have raped this country. They have sold the country to gangsters. But they won't tell young men in the country to stop crime. That's what they want to tell. They want the young men to stop being involved in crime. But it is clear that the administration love international gangsters and fraudsters. And you may say, Monica, you're being unfair. No, the evidence show it. The evidence show us. Minister tell us one story in the parliament. He said, listen, Kruger gone. G-O-N-E, gone. And then he said, Dunga, gone. That's capital D-H-U-N-N-A, gone. And by grab, the next thing we know, Dunga is in Grand Bahama. Say, he ain't gone nowhere. You think Dunga fooling? Dunga didn't get Minister to try to sign. Got Camille. Camille went to Government High. She went at a period when the British selected her. You hear me? Government High was established by the British, where they selected the best brains. You hear me? And put them in special education, recognizing that that is where our leadership would come from. And by grab, Camille has turned out to be disappointing. Oh boy, it's just amazing. I have to come back to this because time is running out. Because the next hour, I'm going to have a live on. All right? And I want to look at what Chester say. So I can come back to Nikki tomorrow. All right? And my spiritual advisor, Wednesday, I want to remember Jesus.
You should do it tomorrow, actually, to be correct.
Well, I may not be able to do it tomorrow because there is a Negro man who's coming, right? And then the lamb has not been baked. We need lamb. We need bread.
Bitter herbs.
What kind of herb? Don't use the white herb.
You want to follow the Jewish Passover, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
what would the Jews have eaten?
You need certain articles to be consistent with the Jewish faith.
Well, whatever the articles
you need the lamb,
are.
you need some bitter herbs,
Yes.
you need some wine.
Wine.
You need some bread.
Bread.
You know.
Okay.
All right, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you should do it tomorrow, because remember now when Jesus Christ instituted the Lord's Supper.
I just told you I cannot do it tomorrow because there's a man
all right.
who has a problem with
so
a lie.
You're going to do it on Wednesday.
So we have to do it on Wednesday. He's not going to be with us that long.
Okay.
And then
but the live is coming today, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a Negro man who is suffering under a life. And Menace brought Kruger here to insult him. So the man has petitioned me. And I said, well, come, old senior citizen, so the people them will hear. All right? So, even Chester's statement we'll read tomorrow. All right? Because It's so pathetic what is taking place. All right? Minis has been taken over. Some imposter has tricked Dr. Minis because Dr. Minis can't be this corrupt. I don't believe that Dr. Minis is this corrupt. I don't believe it. I believe that he's not corrupt. So it can't be him. But somebody has taken over. Now him and Reese Chapman fall out. And Minis and Reese Chapman was like this. They were tight. And let me warn you, my spiritual advisor, watch out when two men have each other's secret. Reese has Minis' political secret, and Minis has Reese's political secret. But corruption is involved. What's taking place? What's going on? What's going on? 10 months! And the government is being aborted. 10 months! And it appears that this abortion of the Free National Movement is personally inflicted. It's a very sad situation taking place. Sad. Minis think we stupid. We stupid, Minis? Paul Adley said that all of us have been exposed to an education. We all went into the schools. We ain't that stupid. Crown land for the foreigners, but the Negroes who got their small little boat doing their fishing and conking, that's where they go. At our key. Minis say they gotta go. All right? Minis say they have to go. I hear they talking, some people say he can put LNG there.
Yeah, there's a proposed project for this location. So,
Well, I shall curse it.
This portion of our
Lord, I curse it.
Yeah, but Mr.
Son!
Monte, if you don't know what it is, why curse?
Send flood.
Ah, boy, tell you.
Flood, Lord. Flood it. And let it be mixed with water. And it don't work. Because it's not
Wow.
right.
You said the same thing with Bahama, remember
Yes.
that? And now
I'm
Bahama is
talking about
flourishing.
Bahama.
And now Bahama is flourishing, Mr. Monte.
Bahama has an article in the Nassau Guardian. All them who won't be maids, go. They're going to train you. All right? Go get the job. Because Bahama is packed. I'm so sorry to say that Sarkis is million. Sarkis, the Chinese got it packed, and everybody there seems to be doing the Chinese groove. Taxi drivers, man, they are so excited over Bahama. Bahama full. I don't know where they're finding the tourists from, but it's full. And those of you who are unemployed, go. You hear what I say? Go now. Because it's big art. All right? And since the country is now gender neutral, if you're a man and you want to be a maid, go. Just wear man clothes as you become a maid. What you say, my spiritual advisor?
You just find a way to do
Huh?
things, eh? You're interesting indeed.
Yeah. It's amazing. Bahama is doing well. Have you found Sarkis for me yet? Or you forgot?
I totally forgot about that, but I will work on that.
Go find Sarkis. I need Sarkis in April.
Yeah,
Okay?
I'll work on that tomorrow.
You let Sarkis know that
You want him to be a guest?
I'd like for him to be my guest.
Ah, no problem.
Because we need, and tell Sarkis that more people listen to Freedom March.
Than any other show in the Bahamas.
And he should come here and put his case to the people then. Okay? That's what I need him to do. So folks, listen, plenty job at Bahama. And I want y'all to be honest. When you get the job, be honest. What you didn't put down, don't move. Simple as that. All right? Because we're living in a modern, sophisticated country or world where there's lots of technology. The clock, you think it's a clock, but guess what it is? It is a CCTV. So be honest. Be honest. And when you work with all your might. Just work, because everybody got to work. And Bahama got plenty jobs. And they said they're willing to train you. Isn't that powerful? And if you are employed, and when you do become employed, remember my cousin, Perry Gladstone Christie, and the hell he caught, him and the Progressive Liberal Party. Because the gangsters in my party, and you take it from me, I'm an F&M, so I know we are the gangsters. Us in the F&M, we are gangsters. All right? And we didn't want it to work. But God has it that the F&M won the government, and it is in their face. It's working. Bahama is working. But we are gangsters. Listen, our party is a gangster party. And we're doing all kind of nonsense. Man, we crooked. Us in the F&M are crooked. The way the F&M is having this country raped, it's like if they don't believe they would ever be returned to power. All right? But I want minister to know it must stop. Prime Minister, stop. My God, look what you do to Reese. You told everybody that you and Reese was tight. How you could do this to Reese? Huh? You wouldn't even tell us why you fire him. Why you fire him, Minister? Why? Tell us. As PM, you need not provide us with any explanation. But if you're not being arrogant, you should tell us. Because listen to what Reese say. Reese say he's not resigning until you fire Jack Thompson. And I always thought that Jack Thompson was a saved man. So I don't know what's going on. But Captain, this ship is sinking. Captain, what we can do? Shall we swim? Shall we jump overboard? But Captain Minnis, this ship is sinking. Somebody on this ship you need to throw overboard. Who? Who has put Minnis in this? And let me tell you what is coming out of the party. They're blaming Minnis. They say Minnis don't like to read. Come, Minnis, you can't be Prime Minister. Whatever you think about Hubert Alexander Ingram. Papa, 1, could read. 2, Papa loves to read. 3, Hubert Ingram reads every piece of paper. He reads it. Minnis ain't read. And they tricked Minnis. All right? And then his cabinet secretary. Ah, boy, what's her name?
Camille Johnson.
Camille Johnson. Camille don't read. Went to government high. Let government high down. Huh? Minnis went to SAC. Camille went to government high. And between the two of them, they got outdo. They got tricked. It's terrible.
Brian was right when he was describing that portion of hierarchy in question. Yeah, it is this western portion of hierarchy. And if you look at the notice is detailed and explains itself. And
the notice says the western part?
See?
If it says it, my spiritual advisor, you went to St.
That's why I said to you.
Does it say the western part?
See right
yes
here?
or no?
Yes, it does, Mr.
Well,
Monk.
then-
And so
then
I tell you,
correct.
Brian was
So
correct.
read it to me. What does it say?
That's okay, Mr. Monk.
Then-
Let's move on from that then.
Goodness
I mean,
of mercy.
it's very
You
self-explanatory.
you have to score a point. If
I
you
mean,
score
here
a
it
point,
is that you are just lambasting this notice, right? And the notice is very clear as to which portion of life, hierarchy is
Almighty.
being discussed here.
what portion did it say?
Mr. Monk, I'm not going to read this anymore.
So then
you
what-
read it already, and everybody can pick up the papers and read this. So Brian was correct.
And you see western there.
Uh,
My spiritual
It's right here.
advisor, man.
Whereas-
you know, if it say western, say western. But don't play no political games with me, man. All right?
oh, boy, I tell you.
Goodness of
Which
mercy.
portion of this hierarchy do we have certain vessels moored to the bulkhead of hierarchy? You know what section that is?
No, I don't.
It is the western section, Mr. Monka.
Does it say?
No, it doesn't say
But
that.
that's the point. It says
but that's
on
where it is.
Anyway, my spiritual advisor.
that's the
once
section.
again,
That's the section they're describing,
listen,
though.
Give him some jobs so he can stop bending down. Listen,
know what?
no matter what minister promise you, Don't bend
Mr.
down.
Monica, ain't nobody better now.
Don't bend down, my spiritual advisor. This is Freedom Map. I'll be right back after the
Oh,
break.
boy, I tell you. Oh, boy.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. And we are simultaneously broadcasting on 105.3 FM, The Beat. It's the newest radio station in the Bahamas. Well, for the next hour, my special guest is Mr. Dwayne Davis. Dwayne Davis, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you, Mr. Monker. It's a pleasure to be here, sir.
And you
Pleasure to be
are
here.
a representative
Of Alive.
alive.
Yeah, we're expecting our CEO. I think he's running a little late, but
Okay.
it's our pleasure to be here this afternoon with you.
Okay, well, let me start off by doing my first shout out to Mr. George Delancey. Today is your birthday, and I'm advised you are 78 years old. Listen, happy birthday. You're a good man. You have a good son. Dion Delancey, Mr. International.
Can't hear me.
So this is powerful as I salute Mr. George Delancey. And of course, on Route 15 is Mr. International. His buses load with Negro people going into Elizabeth Estate, and they're listening to Freedom March. And I want every Negro on that bus to recognize that I need them to stay alive
Yes.
because Mr. Davis is here. So, Mr. Davis, how is Alive doing?
Alive is doing very well, Rodney. I mean, recently we've released some really good innovative products.
Okay.
A couple of things we're working on right now is
For life.
Apple for Life. You're an Apple user.
Yes, I am.
So basically, we have a program now that if you come into the Alive store and you want an Apple phone, an iPhone, you put X amount down, you pay X amount a month, and every year, every 12 months, you can get yourself a brand new iPhone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is powerful. Let me ask you, Alive, I've noticed in the newspaper in more recent time, has been doing a lot of social projects.
Yes, we have been.
I've noticed that you were in the ruling class University of the Bahamas, right? What have you all been doing with the University of the Bahamas?
We have what we did was we created a partnership with the University of the Bahamas as a technical initiative as well as an alumni initiative. So basically what we did was we have a thing called School Plus. So what we do, students at the University of the Bahamas can get an Alive phone at X and get a plan at Y. So that because they're students, they don't pay the same price as a regular consumer user, and that's specifically for UB.
That's powerful. Did I also observe that perhaps at one point you all donated a substantial amount of money to the University of the Bahamas?
Well, it wasn't a donation, it was a pledge. Meaning that based on the interactive and the work that we would have done, if everything go okay, then up to X would be donated to the university. So it's nothing, so no money's changed hands, it's just an initiative working with the University of the Bahamas, working with the Alumni Association, working with the students that after a certain period of time, if everything goes according to plan, then the university will be able to raise X. So just like a pledge, not a donation.
What other social initiatives that you all have been partnering with?
Well, we did something we're doing something with primary schools. What we have done is on one of the two government schools, we have, as well as private schools, we have donated technology to their labs. We did something with autism the other day. Also, we're also doing something with the All Saints Camp as well too. We have taken on that initiative to assist them as well. Right now, we've started with giving them a phone. As you know, we did that last year at no cost to them. And then myself and Damon made a commitment to give them groceries every month, right? So those are some of the initiatives we're doing. So the whole concept is people may see us doing what you call the social culture things, but we're also getting more in the community. So you see more community-oriented events as well too.
Yeah, because for me, I being a grassroots,
Mm-hmm.
while I think it is wonderful what you are doing, I'd like to see the common touch.
Totally agree.
You follow my point?
But both of us are
I
grassroots.
want to see the All Saint Cap.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see things at the community level. You follow my point?
No, and we're doing more of that. I think what you'll see, we're basically a year and a half now. So we're into year 2. So I think in year 2, you'll see us getting more involved in the communities. We have some initiatives coming up where we're going to be going more into community parks and so forth. We're working with the Over the Hill Initiative to see what we can offer as far as maybe, internet or connectivity in some of the areas. As you know, we have our vans because the persons in the Over the Hill community are not able to get to one of our stores. We position our vans so they're able to get at a live phone or a live package. And 9 times out of 10, the van is full service and have everything that they need. So I think you see Alive doing more and more and more in the community.
Is the Bahamas government still a shareholder in
Yes, they are.
Alive?
Yes, they are.
You have any idea what percentage that is?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 51.5 or 52.5%.
Who has the 51 or 52?
Bahamas, the people of the Bahamas, the Bahamas
People of
government.
Bahamas.
Correct.
Okay. The next thing that I'm kind of concerned of, competition. Who are your competitors?
Our competitors in the telecommunication line is BTC.
BTC.
BTC is our main
And
competitor.
what has been happening? Have you been able to sprint to the finish line? Or are you running neck to neck with them? And what is taking place in terms of competition?
Well, it's David against Goliath. I mean, BTC has been around 30 years, so we're the new boys on the block. We're making our strides. We're making some good strides, in my opinion. I think when you look at our threshold, we're about 25 to 35% of the market. We're over 100,000 subscribers. I think if you look at their last report, they noticed that some revenue's down. So it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Revenues down on whose part?
On BTC side, based on the last report that I read in the newspaper.
If I was talking, I have a friend from Black Village. His name is Joe Blacks. Joe
From Black Village.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe Blacks thinks that I'm the smartest guy in the country.
You might be right.
Tell Joe Blacks why he ought to switch from the competitor to Alive.
Well, Joe, there's 3 things we can guarantee you on the Alive network. Number 1, we'll never give you a drop call. Number 2, your phone works on every island within the Bahamas. And number 3, we have a plan that will meet your price point.
Joe Blacks.
Joe Blacks.
You know Joe Blacks is currently unemployed now.
So if Joe Blacks is unemployed and he needs himself a phone, we have phones for less than $50 in our stores.
Really?
Yes, we do. We have a phone for every budget. We also have a plan. Joe Blacks could spend $5 a week on a plan, and that gives him voice, data, and SMS. Keep in mind,
Now, would he be able to send me text?
he'd be able to send you texts. He'd be able to call you. And with that $5 plan, Joe would be able to call relatives and friends within the USA, Canada, and the Digicel Caribbean, meaning that Jamaica, Haiti, or wherever. All that's part of his plan.
And if he were to go to the competitor?
I don't know what the competitors offer. I haven't walked in a BTC store in a minute. But I guarantee you that our products are 100% just as good or better than our competitors.
Really?
Better.
I saw an article in the newspaper today where your competitor has special phone at a particular
Price. I think you
Are
would know
you
it's the same thing.
able to outdo that?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, there is something for everybody in an Alive store.
Right.
Literally something for everybody. As you know, every day we're also in the newspaper advertising certain specials. But every Thursday, you would notice that we have full-page ads advertising our products. I can guarantee you there is a phone for every budget within the Alive store. And one good thing, too, with the Alive network is that we built a super fast 4G network. So there are no bubbles on our network.
Explain that to me. When it comes to these high
High-level things.
sophistication, as a layman and a grassroots man, you have to explain that. Help me out.
What I mean is that when you look at the network we design,
Yes.
there is no legacy components, meaning that You remember we used to joke about a bubbler, the little
bubbler.
flips phone, the little small phone.
Yes.
Those will not work on our network because the network is too fast for that.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So basically, everyone that comes to Alive gets a smartphone at a certain level, whether it's an entry-level smartphone or a high-level smartphone. Every subscriber to Alive gets a smartphone, meaning that you have cutting-edge technology, you have fast penetration, you will not have any drop calls.
I want you to stop for a second. When you talk about fast penetration,
Penetration, agreed.
what do you mean?
Meaning that no matter where you go in the Bahamas, your phone will work. No matter what building you go into the Bahamas, your phone will
Really?
work. Yes, sir. No matter what neighborhood you go in the Bahamas, no matter what island you go on in the Bahamas, your Alive phone will work 100%.
What secret is this that you have that the competitor is unaware of?
Well, you know, if I tell you, it wouldn't be a secret no more, Rodney.
Okay.
So we got to try and keep that on. We got to try and keep that feather under our hat a little bit. But we do have a very, very good network. A very good network. I think you're a subscriber. I think you have an Alive phone, don't you?
Well, let's check and see. I have 3 phones here.
You have 3 phones, Rodney.
And let's see if you can win the prize. Out of the 3 phones, tell me which of these is Alive.
This is the Alive phone right here, Rodney.
Seriously?
Yes, sir. Alive. As you can see, Rodney Monker is alive.
Hold it up so the people can see it.
Rodney Monker is alive. I think this is an iPhone. It's an iPhone 8, Rodney.
It's really an iPhone 8?
It's an iPhone 8,
As a
Rodney.
justice of the peace, I need to be able to be in contact with my people.
Yes,
think
you do.
8 will do?
Yeah, man. 8 is cutting edge. 8 is brand new.
What is higher than 8?
8, you got the iPhone 10.
Not 9?
No, not 9. It went straight
Goodness
to
of
10.
mercy, y'all went
Yes.
straight to 10.
Well, not us, Apple, because it's the 10th year that the iPhone came out. So
Okay.
Apple. So this is an iPhone 10. As you can tell, it has it's an all glass phone. You know, with a Chrome. So this is an iPhone 10. It's a really, really good phone.
Really?
It's a really good phone. Yeah.
How will I be able to tell when I only have an 8?
Well, you can, for now, you can hold it and take a look at it.
Wow, this is beautiful.
If you do a comparison, as you can tell, it's a high resolution screen.
Yes?
Got cordless charging. It has facial recognition for log on.
Really?
It has dual cameras on the back. It's a
This
really
can
good phone.
recognize faces?
Yes,
What about faces that are beautiful?
all of them.
Uh-huh. And it does not discriminate.
It does not discriminate.
So any face.
Once it gets a snapshot of your face, it automatically opens, whether your eyes are open or closed, glasses or no glasses. The only time it doesn't work for me if I have a cigar in my mouth, it doesn't open
It
with the
doesn't
cigar.
recognize your cigar.
No, because I didn't set up with the cigar, but it recognizes the face. Even if I'm sleeping, it recognizes and opens it for you.
This is powerful.
So it's a really good phone.
Now, in view of this kind of technology that you have, what has the public response been? How does the fellow on the street, what does he think about being alive as opposed to being dead?
The public response has been.
Who's that?
That's Damien. The public response has
That's
been.
Damien?
Yeah, that's right. The public response has
Bring
been.
Damien in.
Has been phenomenal. I mean, absolutely, positively phenomenal.
Really?
I know that the Bahamian people are happy to be alive.
Wow.
The response that we get when we go out, the way our market share is growing, the way the network is performing. You know, the other day we're now in Exuma. We're getting ready to launch Long Island.
What is happening in Exuma? I have a special interest in Exuma. My mom was born there.
We just launched Exuma about 4 to 6 weeks ago.
Really?
Meaning that we have an Alive store.
Yes.
We have full Alive service. We got our towels and everything in Exuma, so anyone in Exuma can go down there and become alive.
This is powerful.
You know, interesting. I got an email yesterday from a gentleman in Crooked Island who bought an Alive phone in Nassau, and he's using his phone in Crooked Island.
Now, in forest, would your Alive work in the forest?
Our
Exuma?
phones work all over Exuma.
This is powerful. Just hold on for a second. To the lady who's a member of the Church of God of Prophecy and the Seventh-day Adventist Church, I have not forgotten your issue. I shall discuss your issue tomorrow, and I shall let the country know what you are suffering, and I shall also invite the police to investigate. So you just relax. I've not forgotten, and I want you to know that I'm also superstitious. Okay? So you relax, and tomorrow I'll tell the country how you are being harassed with underhand work and opium, graveyard dirt. And as a member of the Church of God and the Seventh Day Adventist Church, I believe you, and I'll see what I can do. But tomorrow, I'll deal with that, okay? I had to say that because, I'd given a commitment to a lady that I would have dealt because she, yeah. Come on, a little more. Let's make way for Damien. He's the CEO. Damien obviously must have been about the place selling lots of phone.
Yes, I apologize, Mr. Vodker, that I'm late.
Don't worry about that, Damien. I'm used to the Negro people being late. And when I saw you in the distance, you looked like a Negro man.
Like a pale shadow of one.
Yeah. But welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you very much. It's great to be back here.
Yeah, I haven't.
I hope Dwayne's been keeping you amused while I've not been here.
Oh, he's been doing a wonderful job. I immediately took him to my social project, and he gave a good defense. Tell Damien what you told me about All Saints Camp.
Oh, I was just telling them about our commitment to the groceries.
Yes.
And as you know, we dropped off the first set of groceries last month.
This is powerful.
What we did, we focused on the kids this time. So we did a lot of snacks and juices and so forth.
Okay.
Also, they have their phone. They have their live phone that's working.
This is powerful.
And so what's going to happen is the director there's going to call me and let me know exactly what they need specifically.
This is powerful.
So that we can buy it. And that happens every month.
For them. And their phone is on.
Their phone, both phones are on.
This is powerful. This is powerful.
So they got their phones, they got their services in the back there, and of course we're going to help them. And also the roof is fixed now.
Yeah.
Because when I went, I took a look.
Right.
But that's now fixed. The kitchen is clean. So
yeah.
And the most important person in the world is in charge of this for us.
Yes.
Mrs.
Definitely.
Davis.
Yes.
This is powerful. Is she one of the women there?
Yes. My wife is one of the women there. She's taken upon herself to do the shopping. Because, women would know more about shopping than we would. So
your mother is alive, isn't she?
Oh, my mother's one of the women, them too. Oh,
and she is alive.
She is alive.
This is alive.
She is alive. She was alive. She's probably the second person on our network after Damien.
Absolutely.
And your mom is one?
She's one of the women, them. Okay, she's probably watching right now.
Well, I'm going to test you. What kind of phone she has?
My mother right now has a Samsung J7.
Okay, she's one of the women.
Yeah, she didn't want nothing too fancy, so I had to keep it not that fancy.
This is powerful.
Yeah.
So, Damien, I'm happy to have you here again.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
The competitor. Mm-hmm. How is the race going between you and the competitor?
Well, we just stay in our own lane, and we're going at our own pace, which is rapid and fast, and we've got rocket boosters on the back of our car,
Yeah.
And we're not worrying too much about them. They to be fair, the competitor has had to do a number of things along the way to help us, and they've stepped up. We have to co-locate on some of their sites in the Family Islands, on some of their towers, separate network, separate or live network. So some of their engineers have worked very hard and diligently with our engineers to make sure that we're supervised correctly at the site, that when we install our equipment, it doesn't get in the way of their network. And they also supply us with the transmission under the sea to some of the Family Islands. So we do work closely with them on the engineering
side. So notwithstanding the economic competition, there is
the only place where the Alive is if BTC is effectively a supplier to Alive is where we co-locate on about 60-70 of their sites. So we put our equipment on their towers. Mainly in the southern Family Islands.
Okay.
And the reason is that the regulation in the country doesn't allow us to build another tower if it's too near their tower, and there's no economic or technical reason why we shouldn't be on their tower. Because at the end of the day, if you're in Staniel Key, you don't want 150-foot tower from BTC and a 150-foot tower from Alive.
Yeah.
So rightly, the lawmakers and the regulators said, no, you've got to cooperate and play nicely and put your equipment Alive onto BTC's tower, and vice versa. We're looking forward to welcoming BTC onto some of our towers, where they've got gaps in their network, or we'll, and if they want to, they can come on our towers as well. And then the other issue is that outside of the four islands, the biggest four islands, there's only one cable under the sea that BTC owns. So it was installed in the first Christie government time. BTC
It was
when
Christie who
it
installed
was,
it?
well, it was that. It was when BTC was still nationally owned. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Christie government, in consultation with BTC, decided to invest in a national asset, which was the fibre under the sea.
Okay.
There really is only economically, because of the population sizes in those islands in the Central and South Bahamas, really there only is an economic case to have one fibre, and that fibre, of course, was privatised with BTC at the time. So, you know, we've had to get access to that transmission, that fibre under the sea, because it's just not, you know, to spend another $100 million or whatever it would cost to build that is just not economic. So we've had to do a deal. BTC are going to earn good money from the deal.
Yeah, that is what I'm interested in hearing.
And it's very normal in telecoms, by the way, that this happens. So you can be competing in the retail market, but then there are certain wholesale infrastructure that you would
So
that you
for
would
the
share.
purpose of using their tower, do they charge you a fee?
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
they
Yeah.
do.
we pay rent every month
A rent
in
every
that
month.
arrangement.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
And then, as I say, to use the subsea transmission as well, we will pay set fees depending how much bandwidth we use.
Okay.
So you know they will make money out of the asset as well, which they should do. They own it, yeah.
Right. Let me ask you, I was talking with Dwayne about community networking. Have you introduced in any of the areas and any free internet services? Have you done any of
No,
that?
we're working on that.
Yes, I mean we do. We've certainly introduced, for example, in certain schools along the way where I've seen a need. We've done it, especially family islands. Yeah, the school there in Bimini, the high school. I know when we did computers, Amiga College. We've tended to focus our free connectivity on educational things and educational
Nothing
communities.
at neighborhood level.
No.
In terms of what? In terms
Internet.
of Wi-Fi,
access.
yeah?
Yeah.
Not yet, because the
Well, I want to give you a thought because watching me is my community. I'm one of the prince of Black Village.
okay.
All right? And so I want you to take into consideration internet because there's quite a number of young people, you know.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of political talk about the introduction of internet services at the community level. And since you're the CEO, right?
Well, I think that
You are the CEO.
I am, yes, and
Yeah.
I've discussed this with a number of people in government. At the end of the day, in terms of areas where the BTC or Cable Bahamas networks go, I think putting free Wi-Fi out into those areas is kind of more in their domain because they own the fibre that comes into the community. What we've been doing is we have wireless internet, so we have wireless internet solutions, and that's what we've been using sometimes. And maybe this is an appropriate project as well that you're mentioning here. But we've tended to focus our wireless internet effort in family islands because it's where Cable Bahamas and BTC don't necessarily have their fixed
Well,
network
let me
yet.
tell you what BTC, the last time I had a conflict, BTC didn't know that I owned the land.
Okay.
And I can say it to you on national TV. There are areas where BTC, no, it was not BTC, it was Cable Bahamas.
Okay.
And I had the PLP make them move it.
Okay, so
I
this was a
disrupted
tower,
the whole
or
system.
right?
Yeah. So you got to watch out for me.
Oh, that was
When-
good.
When
Yeah.
I asked the question, I already determined how to disrupt the system.
Yeah, I mean, any project you're
So,
looking
you know.
at, like we've always, as you know, we if it's community projects, we'll look at it and
Yeah.
like we'll
Yeah.
determine.
Yeah.
You know, we also obviously have special relationships with Cable Bahamas because they're a shareholder in us, so
Okay.
we can always discuss things with them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but remember,
the reason strategically we have focused our community efforts is outside of where their fixed networks is because in the Bahamas, those are communities that obviously didn't have any access
Okay.
at all,
Okay.
any quality access to internet. Yeah.
All right.
So we've tended to, like the school in Bimini was a good example where, they've just not had the internet properly working for years. We've put
Right.
a computer lab down there. In conjunction with Celebrating Women International, they supplied computers. and you know, to get the Celebrating Women International, which is an organisation that does some great work profiling women of prominence in the Bahamas and internationally.
My special guest, clock is ticking, is Mr. Dwayne Davis and Mr. Damien Blackburn. I love his name, Blackburn. He's the CEO of Alive. We'll be right back after the break.
Do you have something to say to the Senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. Is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. And of course, we are on radio, 105.3 FM, The Beat. And if you were in Haiti listening to me, you would say, 0.3 FM, Batla. Well, my special guest today is Mr. Dwayne Davies, and then the CEO of Alive, Damien Blackburn. Men, once again, welcome to Freedom March.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
It's good to be here.
This is powerful. I have somebody on the phone. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Right here, sir. Turn up his voice so I can hear it. Can you hear him? Turn up his voice, Mr. Producer. Speak to me, sir.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear him?
No, we can't hear.
Listen, turn up the speaker in the studio. My guest cannot hear the man. Hello? Talk to me, sir.
Can everybody hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
they
we
can hear you
hear.
now.
We can hear.
Okay, very good. First of all, I want to congratulate Alive. I am a blind person.
You're blind?
Yes, sir. I'm blind. I'm from Freeport, and I keep calling BTC about a couple of years ago, but the platforms they have are not comfortable for the blind to use.
Okay.
And up comes Alive, and they're very friendly for the blind people.
Really? I didn't know that.
Thank you.
Especially with the iPhones that they push. The iPhones are very friendly, and I'm using an iPhone right now
Okay.
that came from Alive, and I appreciate them for all the services they do. They have 24-hour customer service.
Really?
Yeah.
You can call them at any time, and they'll help you out.
Blind people?
Everybody. Well, they actually do the work for me.
Okay.
If I call BTC, I have to hold on the phone for hours, but I shouldn't call BTC name. If I call the other company,
Let's call him
hours.
Jeremiah. Say if I call Jeremiah. Say it.
if I call Jeremiah, I have to hold on for hours before they get.
I bet you don't know
before they
why.
come to me.
Do you know why?
Why?
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
He was a very good friend of yours.
He was not a good friend of mine. So Alive has been taking good care of the blind. I'm happy to hear that.
Yes, I want to blanks, Mr. Vine, Black Side,
Blackburn.
Blackburn.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, sir.
And Mr. Damien, what can I do to get an iPhone?
What can he do to get an iPhone? Answer this question, and you perhaps will get an iPhone.
What question is that?
What did they do in Bimini, and what did they do in Exuma?
They just opened up shops over there
Where?
in Bimini and Exuma.
Is that true?
No, we did more than that. Remember?
You want more than that?
Well, you don't answer the
No, I
question.
got the
babe.
question. No, we did more than open the stores and launch.
What else did they do?
I know they have sales everywhere. I don't know what particular you want me to say.
Okay.
That's a vague question.
All right. Give the producer your name and number. I'll pray over it and see what can happen for you. Okay?
Need that?
Yeah.
Probably going.
All right.
Okay. So, Damien, Alive
Yes.
is the new phenomenon on the block. What different? What is different between you and the competitor whose name
You
Mr.
won't
Davis
call.
like to call?
I think.
Me?
Listen,
You call
listen.
it.
I think that this is the difference. We say that our mission is to serve the people of the Bahamas, to bring them world-class mobile telecommunications service, number one, and number two, innovations that help you live your daily life. And we're only just starting on mission number two. We've done some good things so far. We recently announced a partnership with a new Bahamian app called Bahamas Ride. It's going to launch just after.
Bahamas Ride.
Yeah,
It's
it's going
like
to launch
Uber
just
for the
after.
Bahamas. Yeah.
So
You know,
Alive will be riding with me then.
Well, the great thing about this is this is the way we do things. You know, a lot of people have approached us about transportation apps and Uber style apps. Yeah.
Transportation.
So we waited for the right solution to come.
Yes.
A guy called Gavin Christie came in to see us, and he demoed. He'd been working on some software for 2 years. Yeah. And it's the business model. The software part, in a way, is difficult, but easier than a lot of the other parts. So the app's all working. What happens is you request your ride, and you can see on a map on the app where the car is, and where you're
I'm a
located.
cab driver, you know that, by profession.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you like this. Now, a lot of people would say, "Oh, let's rush straight off. I've got the technology working, and we'll get loads of Uber drivers working for us, and off we go with our solution." But no, the Bahamas Ride Company decided that they would introduce this ride-hailing service, and they would make it work with the existing taxi drivers.
Okay.
Which is what we're about in Alive. We're about partnering with people who've got good businesses that are working well. And obviously, Uber coming into the Bahamas is a threat to the taxi driving community in the Bahamas. And Gavin, they came to our office. Actually, the taxi union came to our office recently, and Gavin showed them. We pitched to them the Alive part of the deal. And I'm delighted to say that the taxi union have now signed up in partnership with Bahamas
Well,
Ride.
then you're going to have to talk to my group.
And
I'm a member of the Bahama Cab Association.
right, okay, yeah, absolutely.
Which is separate from...
Right. And we'll be delighted to, and it's not
Yeah.
exclusive to the union.
Okay.
This is every taxi driver.
Every taxi
But the
driver.
great thing here is that the solution is going to be given to the taxi drivers to use. And so it will enhance existing business.
This is powerful.
You'll be able to hail your taxi now. And a licensed taxi, somebody who's been authorized correctly, driving a vehicle of the right standard and everything, is now going to arrive to pick
Let's
you
take
up.
this call. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello,
Yes, good afternoon, Senator.
God save the Queen.
God save the Queen. I am one of the women now.
Oh, hallelujah.
And good afternoon to your guests.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Okay, Alive Services, I think, have been going well.
It has been going well.
In the Bahamas, I've been getting great services from you all guys.
Thank
I
you.
want you guys to keep it up. But a question, is Alive owned by 50-something% by the Bahamian public or the Bahamian government?
So it's actually owned 51.75% by a company called Holding Co, which is in turn owned by the Bahamian government, yeah. And the Bahamian people, obviously, the Bahamian government represent the people, yeah. And
Okay, so if BTC is owned practically by the Bahamian government too,
No.
and you guys know,
Right, so the ownership structure of Alive is 48% by Cable Bahamas and then 51-point-something% by the Bahamian government, effectively. And as you know, Cable Bahamas is a Bahamian-owned company.
I was just about to
It's on the it's on the Bahamian local stock exchange.
Yeah, that's it.
BTC is actually owned in pretty much the same structure. It's about 49% by another shareholder, which I'll come to in a minute, and 51% by the Bahamian government, but it's actually controlled by this other shareholder. The other controlling shareholder of BTC is actually a company called Liberty Global, who own a company called Cable and Wireless, and they are they're based out of Denver, Colorado, and the majority shareholder is somebody called John Malone, who was an American who was a pioneer in the cable industry in the US. So BTC is actually foreign controlled.
You got him, my dear? I think she got you.
She might have hung up, yeah.
Is there another person on that phone? Okay.
No more calls.
So, continue to explain that because I'm being educated. The Bahamas government, through a company called Holding Co, owns about
51%.
51%.
51.75%
Okay.
to be precise.
And Cable Bahamas.
They own 48.25%. And then there's a shareholder agreement between the two, and Cable Bahamas actually can appoint 4 directors to Alive's board and the Holding Co 3. So, and then they appoint me, and then I appoint everybody else. That's basically how it works.
Powerful. Yeah. Okay. So, I'm back
but it's
to dealing...
it's 100% Bahamian owned is the message that I would leave you with.
I'm back to dealing with Cable Bahamas.
Well, Cable Bahamas is our parent company on the shareholding side. They're also a big supplier to Alive of
services.
Things like fibre. So we use their fibre to every tower in the 4 major islands.
Okay.
They were the reason why we were able to launch so quickly. They'd acquired sites before we launched, and we were able to use their fibre. Okay. But no, we're not. We're a separate organisation under my leadership to the Cable Bahamas organisation. But clearly we have special relationships through 2 different relationships, the shareholding, and also we are Cable Bahamas' largest customer now.
Okay.
So, we buy a lot of services from them.
Are you required by the law to give annual public statement?
We're a private company, but effectively we give our results are consolidated into Cable and Bahamas, who are a public company, so you can see our results. And obviously I'm a very open person anyway, so I regularly brief the media on the progress of our company. Nothing, I don't see anything as particularly secretive. I regularly, the subscriber numbers, the revenues and things like that, I talk about in public a lot.
Talking about subscribers numbers, do you have a directory?
Telephone directory?
Pardon?
You mean a telephone directory?
Yeah.
No, we don't do telephone directories.
So if I wanted to find Jeremiah's cell phone number, there's no...
No, there's no cell phone directory in the Bahamas. Now, maybe there's a good idea, you see, if maybe, some...
No, I'm just curious, if I was looking for somebody...
No, if you don't have their number, you won't be able to call it live together.
So unless there was an
unless there's some exchange,
connection.
Yeah, you won't be able to get it.
I mean, I've often thought that's a good business for somebody, to persuade people to give their cell phone numbers into a directory.
But now more and more, everybody's trying to blog their numbers and make it private. So,
but this is true. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Mr. Monko.
Sir.
How you doing? All is well?
Yes, sir.
Great. I want you to do me 2 small favors. First of all, I want you to tell the fella in the middle to stop chewing this gum. That's not professional.
Okay. And what is the next one?
How can I reach you personally?
Okay. Would you take this number?
Yes, sir.
434.
Give out your number publicly.
5760.
5760.
How does that sound?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
You have a blessed night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else on the phone? Okay. So, is there room for a third entity?
I don't believe a third entity is needed right now. I'm not saying that there wouldn't be a third entity in the future. I think that the market's just getting used to having 2 of us, and it's brought great benefits to the marketplace having Alive now competing with BTC. I wouldn't rule it out. It's not happened in almost all territories of this size of population and geography in the region. They're mainly 2, and there's a reason for that. It's just pure economics. The investment required to get Alive to the point we are, is over $200 million, and to actually make that economics and that business pay back, is very tough when there's two competitors. So putting a third one in the mix would probably what it would likely do is weaken the ability of all of the players to invest in the latest technology. And right now, the most important thing for the Bahamas is that both of the existing players are under competitive pressure to invest as much as possible to build their networks to the world-class standard that the people of the Bahamas deserve, need, and expect, so that the Bahamas can become wealthier as a result. Anything that harms that, in my opinion, would be foolhardy and would lead to a lack of investment, which you could argue has happened for years here on the mobile side.
Let's take this call. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica,
Yes.
and everybody else. Damien,
Yes?
I would like to, I like that you all did the other talk show. All your cell phone calls to station is free.
All of your what?
All of them, on the iCell phone,
Right.
on the other talk show is a free call.
Yeah, it is. We do offer free live calls. That's cool.
No. If you call the station, let's say on 194 there.
Oh, you mean the line?
Oh, when you call a line, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we
So
can.
I guess they have your system.
Okay.
Yeah, we did do a configuration in 194 where we did do a setup where when you call them, it doesn't count against you.
So
That's
hook up
true.
Rodney.
Yeah, we
He's
can
the
do that
number
for
one
Rodney.
show.
Well, we can do that. Rodney is alive. That's something we could definitely do. But that was a one-off. That was a one-off
This is
setup
for
that we
a free
did.
phone number, is it?
Yeah, we just did a
So
number.
a lot of people
Is that right?
be in their car
We just did
and
a
they
number.
get a nice free call.
Yeah, we
Off
can
your
do that.
network.
We've just not got round to doing that yet.
I even didn't know that technology exists.
Yeah, it was a one-off. It was a one-off design that we did for 194.
But we
Really?
can, we'll
Yeah,
work with your
it's something that we
engineers.
can do.
It's
It's something that we
no
can do
problem.
for you. It's
Like,
not. It's
we'll-
doable.
You've been so good to us on the show. We'd have no issue doing
Yeah,
that.
man. That's definitely something we can do.
It just
Okay,
means
well,
you've got to give another number out, but people
Yeah.
get used to it.
Well, no problem.
And,
Go ahead.
And also, one of your other benefits that you don't talk about, you all give free incoming calls, either landline. What is incoming is free.
That's
Yes,
true.
that
Like
is true.
every single call coming into an alive number, wherever it
free.
comes from, international, mobile, fixed, another island, wherever it is free.
Really?
Right.
No,
As
no.
long, yeah, as long as you have active plan.
Speak about that. But
No,
that's
it's
a plus.
free. Period. Whether
Yeah.
you have an
You
active
have no
island.
minutes, but you don't want to get incoming calls at night time. You getting calls in.
Yeah, you don't need to screen the calls anymore. If you're on an alive phone,
just
just to
take
be
it.
clear,
Yeah.
you don't need a plan, nothing. Just if it's on and away you go, you're getting free incoming calls from wherever they are.
Really?
Absolutely.
I didn't know
And
that.
any of them, before I go, you have to pronounce A-N-Y.
He wants you to pronounce the word.
Any, yeah?
Yeah. A-N-Y.
A-N-Y.
Any.
You go for, I like to say, any boy, anytime.
Yeah,
All right?
that's true.
Okay.
Anybody, anytime.
Wow.
All
I
right.
thank you, eh?
Thank you
Yeah.
very much, sir,
All
for
right,
your
thank you,
support.
guy.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, he seems to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he knew about the setup as well too, which was interesting.
What was that concept he was suggesting?
So we would give you a free phone number that we've an 0300 number, is it?
Yeah, no, what we would do is the number that they use to call you,
Right.
we would configure it in our system so that when somebody calls it, it doesn't count against their phone. So
Really?
it'd be a free call for anyone that calls
Right
the
here?
show. Right, on your existing number, correct.
Which would be the number that we use
The
for
number
the
that you use there, yeah.
once they're using on a live phone.
Once they're using a live phone.
Yeah, that's a great
correct.
idea.
Yeah,
How
we
quickly
do.
can that be implemented? So I can show the people them
Was it?
that with a live, I have
the phone
great
island.
influence.
But I think anyway.
Yeah.
We'll have a look because we
No,
might
I'll
be able
look
to
at
just
it
give
for
you an
you.
0300 number as
Yeah.
well, which then is free everywhere, right, nationwide. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Look
look at
at
it
it.
and I'll let you know. That's not
Yeah,
a
I
problem.
thank the Negro man who is looking out for me
Absolutely.
because we want to keep alive.
I mean, there's
Alive.
there's a lot of technical advances that we do. We don't. There's a lot that we can't talk about, but
Yeah.
there's basically nothing that we've come across that we haven't been able to do.
Let me try this one. So a person joins a live. How can they spin that economically?
Well, let me give you a great example. Spin it economically so that they save money is the best thing, and then you can spend your money, invest it how you want, spend it on your beautiful family, whatever. A great innovation that we've come up with only last week, or the week before, was we've introduced roaming plans. We've promised to introduce these for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody knows the story about roaming here.
Yeah.
If you've got a Bahamas number, it's disgraceful.
High
People
bills.
go and they
Yeah.
and then they get these bill shocks, and the five, they turn the phone on as they get to the airport in Orlando or Fort Lauderdale, and before you know it, it's $100, right? Those days are gone on Alive.
Really?
Last week we introduced 3 roaming plans, which you can buy even as you leave the airport in Nassau. You can buy from the kiosk.
Okay.
$20, $30, and $50. And that gets you an allowance of data. 250 megabytes for the $20, 500 megabytes for the $30, and 1 gigabyte for the $50. And those plans last a week. Most people go away for a week or less.
Yeah.
Long weekend.
Yeah.
I was using this. I've actually been off the island quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. And this plan works in the USA, in Canada, and in every single Digicel Caribbean island. So anywhere where there's a Digicel network in the
Yes.
region, which is most of the islands of the Caribbean. And I've been traveling around. I was in Haiti, I was in the US, I was in another island in the Caribbean in the last 2 weeks. And I've been using this plan. I bought the $50 plan.
Yes.
And it takes some effort to burn through the 1 gigabyte plan. So for $50, I was running around doing my WhatsApp like normal, sending photographs, watching the odd video. And for $50, that's all I needed to spend. Imagine that, yeah? This
That's
is
powerful.
a revolution.
What are you doing in Harbour Island? Because I'm going there for the holiday. What nice plan is in Harbour
Well,
Island?
once you have your regular plan, it'll work in Harbour Island like it would in Nassau.
Harbour Island's just...
Yeah, Harbour Island's just right there, so you wouldn't need nothing special. And if I'm not mistaken, you're on the $50 a month plan, so you're covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what is happening in Harbour Island from your technological and...
It works exactly the
It
same
works
as
the
here.
same as Nassau.
So you won't notice any difference, which is that's the other great thing we brought. We've not discriminated whether you're in one island or another. We bring the same
Equality.
Yeah, no
quality
matter
of
where you are.
service to everywhere.
So when I get to Harbour Island,
You will have LTE, full LTE network, just the same.
I
as
shall
you
be
have in
alive.
Nassau.
You'll be
Absolutely.
alive.
I will
Same
have
speed,
internet.
Internet.
My phone will still be able to send text.
All that stuff,
all
yeah.
that.
No messing
Same
around.
quality
it'll
of
just-
data as in
it'll just
Nassau.
work.
No
Uh-huh.
difference. Same quality.
I can
data.
stay in contact with the capital.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
This is
It's
powerful.
one country, yeah, one country.
Now you see what time it is, right? So what is it that you want to tell? Because I'm going to tell the people now. Listen, I am with alive. All right? Sound like my cutoff. I can't hear me no more. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
we-
hear you.
I am
on
with
speaker.
alive, and I call on the woman them. You got to get the man them to get you an alive phone, because you have to keep in touch with the man them. So let's stay alive. You know, I'm leader of the woman them.
Yes, you are.
Do you have any? I'm so celebrating Women's Day. You think I can talk with you all when I celebrate Women's Day to get a special price for anyone who can prove that they are one of the women them?
That's one for you, Dwayne.
Come on, I got thousands
Yeah,
of
we
women.
can work it out. I mean, just let us know how you
I
want to
will
handle
let
it.
you know
You know,
when I
that's
declare
something we can look at.
Women's Day.
When you declare Women's Day and they prove that
And-
they wanted women them, then we'll put something together for you.
Seriously, look and tell the
You
woman
know?
them.
No, we'll put something together for the women's them. 99.9% of the time, it'll probably come across my desk to do.
Listen to me. I have thousands of women.
Yeah, we know you got a good following.
Who
like
have
I said.
accepted
Yeah, you got my
my
mother.
leadership.
You got my mother.
Your mother's one of the women
My
them.
mother's one of the
Man's
women
powerful.
them.
Now, one thing I would just say is I'm
Yes.
holding this up, yeah?
Yes, that's
This
all up.
is Just, can we...
That's
zoom-
alive?
That's alive.
Where's your live phone? Hold
my
up
phone?
yours.
Look at
Right
this.
But Damon, I've one of our personalized cases.
Right, so this is a beautiful bit of Bahamian artwork.
Wow.
Designed by
One of our
Theo
guys.
McLean,
Yeah.
who's
So
our
why-
art director.
So
at
why
work.
y'all
And-
ain't give me one like that?
Well, these are
send
the
you
idea behind this is these are on sale at the Alive store.
Really?
$10 only.
Uh-huh.
Superb. There's 4 different designs, and our idea here is, having got everybody already holding up the
Yes.
Alive branded
Yes.
skin, we thought we would involve the art community of
This
the
is
Bahamas
powerful, this is powerful.
to
we got 4
actually
different
create
styles,
art for
yeah.
the phones, and then they can earn half of the money
Of
that
course.
people buy.
Right.
And then the good people of the Bahamas and all the Alive customers will hopefully see that that's a fantastic thing to do.
That is
to
what I was
support
trying to
local
ask
artists.
you when I asked you
So
the
this is
economic spin.
this is the twist, right?
Yes.
That,
Right, that's one of
you know,
them,
we
yeah.
we want to partner with Bahamians to showcase their skills,
Yes.
showcase the great things that I see here. It's an amazing country. I see amazing things going on. Some of the best things I see going
Are
on
you
is
still
the art, the
sponsoring
music.
Freedom March?
Freedom March?
Are you still sponsoring my show?
Yes. Yeah, of course we are.
So
Yeah, we
how
are.
come you don't
Yeah, we do.
come more often to Hail Me?
You gotta invite us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how it's done.
Yeah, you gotta
Okay.
invite us. You know.
You can invite us anytime you like. And
Would
we've
you
got
like to
some-
come in April?
Absolutely, and we've got some very good, we've got also some good colleagues as well.
Actually, April is good, right? We got some big things happening in April.
Yeah.
We got
April,
some
yeah.
surprises
I'm away
happening.
till the
But
16th.
you got to bring gifts.
No, we got
Absolutely.
gifts. We got gifts. This time
Yeah.
it was a busy day,
Huh?
and we kind of disconnected. But you
Yeah.
know,
It's been crazy day.
Yeah.
definitely it's
But
been
we'll
one of
be
those
back.
days.
Yeah.
We'll
What
come
I'll
back
do,
in.
I'll send you a text
Absolutely.
so that you can agree on a date, and I think you should come back in April. And I want members of the public, whatever positive about Alive, I want you to express it. Whatever negative or whatever that can be used to, and
Everyone hear
enhance.
negative too. Yeah,
Yeah, we want to hear negative.
If we
as
do
well,
bad,
like,
let
you
us know we're doing
yeah,
bad.
we,
you
do.
know?
we, we thrive on like getting better,
Yeah. Well,
But
I'm
believe in
pleased,
best is
I'm
what we
pleased
say.
with my Alive, and I can see that there are other citizens, because everything that I want, I can get it.
Yes, you can.
Text, internet,
Good speed.
and I can talk.
Yeah,
What speed?
you got good speed.
I got good speed. So, Damien, what are your last words?
Once again, I'd just like to say thank you to the great Bahamian public for supporting Alive. We've come on a long journey, and we want as many Bahamians as possible to join us. The more people who join, the more we can do good in the community. We can give back, and we promise we'll do it.
Dwayne?
No, just it's good to be here. Like we said, the Alive network is 100% Bahamian. Right? You want to do the selfie?
Do a
We gotta turn
selfie.
it around. We got to turn it around.
Oh, see, I ain't used to this yet.
Yeah. we got
Strictly because we're going to
There you
do
go.
a selfie.
There you go. We're going to do a selfie. There we go.
Go ahead.
So now you got the Damon.
Yeah.
There we go.
This is
The
powerful.
thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.